Now, if I position my hair just right, it'll look like I'm not even wearing a top. I'm just using my hair to cover me up. It's too much. Anyway, hi guys, welcome back I have too much time on my hands, so let me show you what I've been doing. I have started four new things. Who am I? You're gonna just have this. 4 new things, new projects, which I absolutely love. A few purchases. I sent out a piece to get professionally finished. So yeah. Oh, and then I will do a life update at the end with pictures for anyone that gives a shit. All right. Boys are in school. Joe is gone. It's lovely outside. It's like a little after 10 o'clock and it's, I think, like 82 degrees already. Don't mind the wonky donkey lattices. Joe just has them leaning up against the wall. This weekend he's going to install, well, anchor them in. We have 5. Ooh, what are these plants that are annoying as hell? You know what these are. It's going to come to me. Anyway, we have 5 of them and we're going to attach them to the trellises so then they can grow up, and we have this whole wall of pink. These are our neighbors, and so we're gonna have theirs come over to our wall too, so it's gonna be like a huge wall of whatever these flowers are. It's gonna come to me like as I'm explaining a chart, and then I'm just gonna like yell it out. So Joe installed some outdoor patio shades. I put a picture of those on my Instagram. You can kind of see them here. From Costco, attached them to the pergola. So it definitely keeps it cooler back here on the patio. Morning and afternoon we get the sun. So it's actually really nice out here right now. All right, let's start with what I've been starting. 4 new starts. I had, if you get my 1884 Stitchery newsletter and have watched my last few videos, I have talked about how April 1st I wanted to do a Latte Studio April Sal. I am the only distributor of Latte Studio designs. Nancy is a fabulous individual and great designer, and so you can get all of her designs, 141 of them, on 1884 Stitchery. You can get them as either PDF or hard copy. All you have to do is at checkout, make a memo. In the memo section, type in that you would want PDF version, so then I can email them to you, and then I will reimburse you the shipping. If there's nothing else in your order that needs to be shipped to you directly. So many of you have participated, and I thank you so much. I picked Ego Sum, I Am, and there is the design. I will not be doing the border, just the quote and Mr. Death and the flower. Super cool. I am starting off with just stitching the black, and then I will go back and fill in. And this is also a great way if you want to do any of her designs, The black is the predominant outline color. So you could easily pick a colored fabric if you want, or not, a colored thread, or just black. And you could just stitch the black stitches and it makes an incredible cross stitch pattern all on its own. So this is just the black in the pattern. And look how detailed it is. And so there's part of me that just wants to stitch the black and then be like, okay, I'm done. But I really like the colors, more of natural earth tone colors. And I think I would like it a whole lot more. I've already pulled all the colors. Just doing DMC, there's some blues, some purples, but who knows how many of these I will actually use because I'm not doing the border. Now, I actually did a restart on this. I had originally pulled Picture This Plush, Havana, 32 count, and it was a linen. I was not liking it. 1/2 on 32. And I had tried 2/2, but I did not like how, I didn't like how it was looking. So then when I started 1/2, I was like, okay, this is doable. But then I got to this point and I was like, I don't like how open the X's are in between, how you can see the fabric. I want more of a solid line look. Which that look works on some patterns, and then I think it just doesn't work on others. So yeah, that is where I am at on Ego Sum. I love my little Mr. Death. And he has stitched up quickly. And I just kind of follow wherever my needle takes me. I don't really chart it out too specifically. Bougainvillea. See, I told you. Bougainvillea are the pink. I originally did not want to have any in the backyard because it leaves all kinds of the flowers, and this gets on my OCD. But they bring so much color. Let me turn the camera. You're not going to see because of the... Oh, I did lift it up. So, yeah, this whole wall is going to be the Bougainvilleas. Fabulous. All right. See? Told you. All right, another start. I started this a few weeks ago. Yeah, I didn't show this to you. I showed you the chart, but not that I had started it. This is Witch of Bramford Station. It is from Queensland Sampler Designs. I have a couple copies available on 1884 if you want to stitch her up with me. I am stitching everything except for the title here and the date. I don't know, something about, I mean, yes, I could easily enough change, come on, change the date to 2021, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am using the DMC substitute, otherwise it is charted in NPI. I took this on my trip up to Washington. I will talk about that at the end of the video. Obviously, you need to take something with you. Anytime you're going on a plane or anywhere. I am stitching her on Swigard Country Linen 36 count in natural light. And here is where I'm at with her. And I'm kicking myself because I was just at Hobby Lobby the other day and I can't finish her because I'm out of a thread that I need to finish her. Out of all my DMC that I have rack piled away and all that, I don't have the one that I need. That's okay. Once I get it, I'll finish her up. I love her though. She's super cute. Super cute. This is my second Queenstown sampler design chart that I have stitched. First one was the Mexican sampler. And I love their designs. Very unique and different and kooky. And I love stitching patterns that no one else is stitching. All right, I wanted something small to stitch on. Went through my charts, didn't see anything, so I pulled out my copy of Just Cross Stitch. This is the, what year is this one? 2010. This is the 2010 version. Now I have always loved this chick here. And yeah, I actually received this. Was it one of the Midwest retreats put on by Michelle Rudy? I think so, but I have this, but I've always loved her. So there's actually some really good ones in here. Okay, where is she? I find her right here. So Winifred Witch. It is from Turley of M Designs. M Designs. Here is Winifred. Yeah, I think she's just really pretty. So I wanted to finish her in something different. So a lot of times people will just stitch it on whatever fabric they want and then finish it up at the end and not think about how they're going to finish it before they start it, unless they want it in like an ornament size, so then they're very specific on what fabric they stitch it on. So I had these two frames. I believe I have them in stock on my website. These are from Primitive and Wood. The first one that I had pulled up that I really wanted to do something was on this spider web laser cut piece. Now you could easily just stitch it onto this, so then you can see when you put it up against your wall that color, whatever the color is, comes through. You see these holes here and up along the top, because if you use the backing, you put it on, the top has the holes and they line up, but you see the middle piece, the middle is not. So you stitch it to this and then you put it together and then you stitch all the way around. I've done this finishing on a couple of my pieces and I really, really like it. So I wanted to do something with the spider web, but I wasn't feeling her on this. So another Primitive and Wood frame that I have is this stacked brick design, and it's open, and there's actually a little bit of a lip, so it sits back a little, which I really like. So is this like a tunnel, or is she looking out of like a window? I guess it depends on what you stitch and you put in here, and then how it could be interpreted. Now this one is fairly thick because it comes with 3 pieces. So you have the backing, which then has the holes all the way around, you can see, and then the hanging. Maybe you don't like the stacked stone look and you just want a flat surface. All the holes line up, and then you could just have a flat stitched. But I like the stone piece. So that's how it's going to be. But I want a little bit more of a lip. So when I am finished, I will be stacking all 3 pieces together, which is going to take a lot of, I just had an idea of how to cheat. I was going to say it's going to take a lot of DMC thread, because you have to go through the holes 3 and then lace it, you know, do a sewing method. But what you could do, cut hair and fly, you could fake it just on this top one and go all the way around, and then you could glue, Gorilla Glue or whatever, this piece then onto here and the third one, and then it would look like it's all stitched together, but it's not. That's probably what I'm gonna do, because it would take me all day. You know, you're lining up the holes and trying to get the needle through, and you can't use 2 long pieces of thread because then they get knotted up. But yeah, I really like this. So this is how Winifred will be finished. How much of Winifred have I already stitched? I'm doing this on 25 count light orange rust Lugana, 2/2. Look how adorable she is. Now her eyes, her eyebrows, and her mouth are over 1. I was going to avoid that and try to figure out a way to stitch it without, but then when I got her all filled in, I thought, that's not that much. I can do 1/1. I know it's not my thing. I am not doing that for my Mira's skin. But hot damn, look at that. I did her eyebrow last night. I did her lips, all 1/1, and I really like how it's turning out. Her necklace is charted with just a V, and at the tip of the V is just a French knot. Well, I got into my goodies, and this was a packet of Swarovski crystal pendant things that I had bought. So I looped that through, and so her sugar daddy bought it for her. So yeah, I'm gonna finish her up. Her streak of gray silver hair is gray etoile, so there's a little bit of a sparkle to her. And I've not lined her up. I know that she's gonna fit into the frame, but let's line her up and see how she looks as of right now. And it's okay that some of her locks of hair will be cut off, because she's holding up this whole spells 5 cents. So I kind of see it as like she's somewhere and you're going up to like the window to pay her. So, and obviously she needs to be ironed and finished off, but I really think that that's cute. Cute! And if the Arizona State Fair is this year, so many entries, because the fair did not happen last year. Alrighty, so Winifred, and then there's some other designs, I think. So the good thing about just cross stitch, the very last page, right? I thought there was a page that showed all of the designs. Maybe it's not just cross stitch. Must not be. Nope. All right. Next start. That will not be an entry into the state fair this year. It will take me a while. Now, I liked this chart when I was stitching Nightmare by Courtney collection. And then Emily C. Eclectic Possessions stitched it. Turned out beautiful. Some other people have stitched it or are stitching it. Arlene came in possession of a huge, couple years ago, collection of charts. She sent this to me just in case. Well, Arlene, just in case has come up. Mermaid's Folly, right? It's a mother. It's a mother of a chart. I like the whole design, but I like it. I think it's amazing. But I wanted to make it so I love it. So what am I gonna do? I'm taking out the dragon, so you get the whole chart itself, plus individual charts. That's why it's so big. So you can kind of make it how you want. So I am taking out the dragon guy, and I'm only stitching Mermaid Girl and Creeper Old Guy. Old Man and Mermaid. That's what I'm going to be stitching. No, I did not start with her nipples, like a lot of you guys probably would think I did. I'm starting up in the corner, and probably will be working my way across. Now, Courtney has designed this chart so it's not just cut off, right? Because here it is rounded. She has charted it so when you get to her hand, it's rounded, so it will look like a piece that you just didn't stop. And then, yeah. So, Old Man and Mermaid is 8 pages. The stitch count is 370 by 225. Now, if you did the original full thing, it's 565 by 225. It calls for approximately 6 spools, and the spools they're talking about is the Averiswa 100-3. I am doing it in silk. And I've had this color in my kind of collection for a while. So if you guys are not aware, I carry 1884 Stitchery Silks by Vicki Clayton. And this was a full spool of silk that came to me, and I have one other one. This is this variegated gold, and then this variegated green. I've always loved this gold. Very chalk. And I always wanted to do some big piece with it. So when I realized, hey, I want to do Mermaid's Folly, this came to mind. Now I do have the whole spool of green variegated on 1884 for sale. I forget how many DMC, I think it's 28 DMC skeins to one spool. And these are these 6-stranded silk. They are. So 6 strands. So if you need a fabulous green doing a big project, I have the green one available. I don't have a color listed, just like this one, it didn't come, it was like a mystery color. So yes, then my question was, I want to do it on a fabric where you will definitely see the variegation of the thread and it will pop off. I've always loved the combination of the Havana fabric that I use for Matter's Choice with the blue DMC. I just have loved that combination ever since I stitched that. I wanted to do something similar for Courtney collection. Now I didn't want to use tobacco, the color, is it tobacco? Havana. I didn't want to use that as the fabric because I was afraid I would get burnt out, seeing that I had already done Matter's Choice on it. Yes, 2 different sizes, 2 different patterns, but I'm also doing Another Year Creeps By from Ink Circles on the Havana color, so I didn't want that. So by using the gold though, it sort of reverses that. So I thought blue fabric, gold, this gold thread. 1, 2, 3 stitch. I got a 18 by 27 piece, 40 count of anthracite. I don't know if it's picture this plus. I don't think it is because it's just a solid color. Move it over. Let me flip my Mermaid Girl, topless Mermaid Girl the correct way. And that's all I have. Small start, but as you can see, you can already see the little touches of the variegated gold being seen. I'm not stitching them X by X. I am not going from left to right. I'm not going strictly up and down. I'm stitching wherever I want to take my next X. And I love it. The fabric is really nice to work on. So, yep, ton of start, but I love the look of it. 1/2 on 40 count. All right, so those 4 projects are what I have been working on, rotating, working on them when they call my name. I am starting to stitch the, is it part 4? Part 4 of my 1884 Mystery Sal. So if you are, I've stitched a couple of the little motifs this morning, but if you are following along with me, it's not too late to join. PDF and hard copy available. This is what it looks like. So I'm already beginning to stitch the next part. And I send that out beginning of each month. All right, what have I purchased? With that piece of 40 count anthracite that I bought off of 123 Stitch, I had purchased 4 other pieces of fabric. I just bought a range of blues because I wanted to see how they would look against the golds. Piece of shadow, which is too dark, which I know that it's a darker fabric. I had a piece in my stash. But coming out here, if I decide to stitch something on it, you know, you need good light for a darker fabric. Use it, don't use it, sell it, give away, whatever. So shadow, and then I wasn't drunk when I made this order, but for some reason I ordered 2 pieces of Nocturne, same size. But it's interesting. I mean, obviously all pieces of hand-dyed fabric is going to come differently. This one's less modelly, but then look how mottled this one is. Gorgeous bluish gray. And then the other piece I picked was pewter. And this was too washed out, too light for the gold, because I knew that that gold color needed to be on a piece of blue to make it really pop. I also, because the thread is slightly variegated, I did not want to put it on a mottled fabric, because sometimes they just clash and it's just way too much. Like I said, I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, picked up some frames, 1 thread, and this frame, originally 20 bucks. I found it, so originally if you buy this now, it comes with glass and the whole backing. It must have broke or whatever, so they had it on clearance for 5 bucks. I just like the texture and the design all the way around. So this is an 8x10, so I picked that up for 10 bucks or $5. They are starting, they used to have a section, at least at my Hobby Lobby. If you were looking at the framing section, off to the right on the wall, they would have hooks, and they would just have frames like this hanging up, different sizes. Maybe someone ordered a custom frame and they ended up not liking it, so they would put it marked down and put it up on the wall. Well, I've noticed the last couple times I've gone, they don't have that anymore. And I haven't had to look for a while, so I wasn't going down the frame aisle. Well, when I was looking for specific frames the other day, they now have the clearance frames in with the regular frame, so they're no longer separated. So as I was walking, I noticed the orange sticker, and it was in the 8x10 section. So tip for you guys, to look for the clearance items in, at least for the frames, in the regular frame section. I sent out my Opus piece. Do you guys remember this? So this is Opus by Long Dog Sampler. Opus Magnuson. I only did the top row, and then I was over it. And as you can see here, it's tobacco with blue thread. Do you see a theme going on? So I didn't want to frame it up. Didn't want to do a flat fold. I wanted a drum. So I sent this out to a friend of mine, and she did a freaking incredible job. Here is the seam. Here's the seam. absolutely fabulous. I sent her, I didn't cut down the fabric, and so I told her to use the same fabric for the top and the bottom, and then I got I got 2 skeins of the matching blue so she could do cording. I just wanted it really, my face, very simple and clean, nothing crazy. So here's the front. The creeper guys, I don't know what the hell they're looking at. Oh, here, it's this way. And then the birds eating berries, maybe. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, I love how this turned out. It sits really, really nice in my office, and I feel like now everything needs to be a drum. At least if it's like long and skinny like this. So yeah. Did I mention that those are Bougainvilleas? Okay. All right, that is it for stitching. If you care to hear where I have been the last few weeks, I'll tell you now. A couple weeks ago, I got word from my grandma, my mom's parents, who live up in Washougal, Washington. My dad's parents, not a close relationship ever with them. So my dad's dad, my grandpa on my dad's side, he died, oh gosh, maybe 8-9 years ago. And then my grandma on my dad's side, she died in January of 2019, and then my dad died in August of 2019. And he was good enough, he went up for the funeral. I would have gone up, but I had something planned. I was going somewhere. I might have been going to Vegas. And I know I could have told my girlfriend no on going. I basically wanted to go to know where their headstones and everything was. And we knew at the time that my dad was sick and that the cancer had come back. And so it was kind of like maybe like a little trip with him, but I don't beat myself up for not canceling out on Vegas and going with him. So my grandparents on my dad's side are gone, but extremely close with can I move this way? My grandparents on my mom's side. I would go up, my brother and I would go up every summer for a couple weeks at a time, and my grandparents had a motorhome, so we would go in the motorhome and take trips, go fishing, or just hang around their house, or go huckleberry picking, or go down to the river. My grandpa was a huge salmon fisher. So very special to me, and I have his signature tattooed on me along with my dad. So that's my grandpa. And so my grandma had messaged me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, Papa is not doing very well. He was placed on hospice on Saturday. This was a couple weeks ago. And I said, okay, thanks for keeping me updated. And then my mom called and said, hey, I'm making a flight up to Washington. I'm going Thursday, a couple weeks ago. So I think at the time it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. My mom had told me that she left pretty soon. And so my mom got up there, and Friday she texted me, and she's like, the hospice nurse just left, and the hospice nurse says 2 to 3 days. So I said, okay, got off the phone with her, called Joe. Joe was at the gym, and I said, I need to go up to Washington yesterday. And he's like, okay, we'll look at flights. And I said, well, I can take out this was Friday. I said, I can take off tonight, or take the very first flight out tomorrow, which was Saturday morning. And he's like, well, you decide. And I said, well, my mom said 2 to 3 days from the nurse, so I'm not going to rush around here with my head cut off trying to pack. And I said, I'll just leave tomorrow morning, first flight out. So I took like the 8 a.m. flight out, went up to Washington, rented a car, didn't even check into the hotel. Well, it was too early anyway, and went up straight to my grandparents' house. They still live on their own. I've shared pictures of their place. Absolutely gorgeous. I love their home. So many memories. He was definitely in his good moments, bad moments kind of phase, sleeping a lot. He would have little sparks of energy, so someone would go over. And this was until he passed. He passed on, it was 2 weeks ago. Was it 3? He passed away on the 22nd. So 2 weeks ago, this past Monday. And I was up there for like 12-hour days. I would ask my grandma, hey, when can I come over in the morning? And my 2 cousins were living up there, taking shifts with each other throughout the night, in case my grandpa needed anything, give him medicine, and they would let my grandma sleep. So, I mean, I was up there for 12-hour days, helping care for him and sitting by his side, talking to him. So Saturday, got up there and spent all day with him. And the boys knew why I was going up, and that's a whole other thing, because how many kids get to have, or adults get to know their great grandparents? Just doesn't happen these days. So I am so happy that my boys have had a relationship with their great-grandparents and have memories. I absolutely love that. So the boys wanted to talk to Papa, and I said, well, let me get there first and figure out kind of the situation with him. Because as you process gets closer to one dying, your brain starts shutting down, and it gets to a point, even though they may recognize you and be able to speak, they don't understand, they cannot understand what you are saying to them, bringing up memories or talking to them. So I got there, and my grandpa had a little burst of energy, so I called the boys and I said, okay, here is your time. And I said, Papa, the boy, Callaway and Ayrton, want to talk to you. Okay. And so I put him on speakerphone, and I had told the boys, now I'm going to be in the airplane for a couple hours, so during that time, because it was Saturday, no school, I said, you need to write something that you want to say to Papa, so when I get there, you guys can just read it to him. It's already said. I said, you can say whatever you want. So the boys had each written something. and they took turns talking to him, and my grandpa totally acknowledged him, both of them, and smiled and shook his head as much as he could. And he said that he loved them. He was able to mumble that out. And if I was not there Sunday he was not, that part of his brain had already shut off. There was no way he would have been able to understand their memories that they were talking about with him. And so I'm so happy that I had the opportunity, and I have the opportunity and the lifestyle that I can just get on a plane and go somewhere. I don't need to worry about like a 9-to-5 job kind of work, or figure out situations with the boys, and that Joe and I have our own like so many things lined up where I'm so thankful that my boys got that and will always have that, and my grandpa got that. So there was family in and out, and then he died Monday morning. I had just gotten to the house, and it had happened. And then I stayed there through the whole process. A couple more cousins came up to give their final goodbyes to Papa. And so my grandma and a few other people really leaned on me for guidance and what happens now with hospice, and them knowing that worked for a few years with the fire department, and so I've seen it all. But like how does it, what happens now? So again, I was so happy that I could be there at that time when people weren't sure how the process went, and I was able to clearly say, okay, now it's this, and we could have him here as long as we want. I said, I think the state of Washington, you can hold on to the family member for 24 hours. And so, but I told my grandma, I said, there's no rush to get him out of the house. There's no law. I said, 24 hours, yes. I said, but he could chill out in his chair all day for, however long, until you're ready. So, I was there with, my dad through it all, held his hand, last breath, everything, and then was able to do, the same thing with my grandpa. So, 92, he would have been a 93 on May 5th. And so he passed away on Monday the 22nd. That Saturday would have been my grandparents' 70th wedding anniversary. And so my grandma was joking, saying, well, I guess he only promised me 70 years and not 71. But Saturday we had 21 people over at the house, 22 people over at the house, and we did an early anniversary hangout, celebrate Papa kind of party, low key, no craziness. But I think he definitely knew that he was loved, and he had said to my grandma the week prior that he was ready to go. He was done, and his last full words, when he was very much cognitive, was, "You can't live forever, and I've lived a good life." So I actually wrote down when he said it. I typed it into my phone, word for word, and so I definitely want to stitch that up and design something around like his final words. So yeah, I was up there for almost a week, and then a few days later we went to Mexico. John, who the hell's John? Joe and I went down to Mexico, left the boys here, went down to Rocky Point, which is about a 4-hour drive from where we're at right now. We're only about an hour and a half from Mexico border. Absolutely no issues coming in or out of, going into Mexico or coming out of Mexico. Actually funny, the Border Patrol on the US side, when we came back in, when he looked at Joe's passport, he made some joke to Joe saying, "Oh, you still work out, I see." And Joe was kind of put off by that for a second, like, thanks, Border Patrol guy, for checking out my arms. Come to find out, Joe and him, the Border Patrol agent, went to high school together. And Joe was very built, I guess, back in those days. I can neither confirm nor deny. I did not know him back then. And this guy kind of worshipped Joe and was very envious of Joe's build. And they were friends. So that was really cool. But no, we had a fabulous time, a great little getaway. And because we were there on Friday, we were there from Thursday to Sunday. That Friday that I was gone was the internment of my grandpa. And so if we hadn't already planned this Mexico trip, I would have flown up for that. But my cousin took pictures and sent them to me, and it was a beautiful day, and other family members showed up. So we're gonna do, I know, a celebration of life. I don't know why I hate that term, celebration of life. I don't know why, that bugs me. When I die, just use the word party, okay? A huge family get together. Not sure when, a couple months from now. So then that's when I'll be able to go visit my grandpa and see where he's gonna be at. So, let me know, do you guys have any trips coming up? Get out of the house, go travel. Go to places where you don't need to wear a mask, like Arizona or Texas. But get out, start living your life. Might go to Vegas next month, but then Joe told me last night that we might be going to Miami for his friend's birthday. I've never been to Florida. Definitely have wanted to go. So I know that is a strong possibility. We plan on going to Tahoe again for the summer. And yeah, you gotta get out. Get out, enjoy your life. Travel if you can, travel if you want to. I'm all about wanting to and needing to. Oh, also New Jersey FlossTube retreat. Yes. All right, you guys. I thank you so much for sticking in if you have this long. Oh, 1884. I will be getting a new huge shipment of Alforce embroidery stuff. It's MIA. I don't know where the hell it was. It was supposed to arrive Tuesday, but then it says it's cleared customs in New York. I'll make a post when that stuff eventually arrives. All my Lizzie Kate stuff on the website is 30% off. No reason, just because. I will include photos of both my trips to Washington and to Mexico at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Questions, comments down below. I will see you guys next time.